Sean Reed from The Athletic. I know everybody hasn't been on the field so far, but what have been your first impressions of this running back group as a whole?
Uh, Good guys. They show up. They're here helping each other out with the playbook and everything else about life, and not only on the field but off the field. Good group.
Coach, how much of an asset has Brandon Bolden been in this running back room, considering his experience in this offense?
Just unbelievable. Here, I told him the other day, I've never coached. I've coached vets, with this, many years, but a guy that participates in every special teams. I mean, just the unselfishness of him. That's impressive. Usually when you're coaching a 9-10 year vet, he's pretty much the main guy. And this young man, he comes to work, smart, tough, and he's unselfish.
Coach, you're a teacher. That's why Josh hired you. He's a teacher. For you, this group's like a sponge. They want what you have. How much fun is it as a coach to have players that draw it out of you?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I look forward to coming in. It's just, I tell them, don't let anybody steal your joy. Come with energy, enthusiasm. And it's not about a sign on the wall. It's you got to live it and you got to be it. And that's what they do.
Kennedy, Willie Ramirez from the Associated Press. To piggyback off Levi's question, not just Brandon, but the extension of the veterans that come from New England, the importance of them being here to help sort of implement the system, make it easier in every position group that you've seen.
And not only position group, but coaches. Offensive coordinator, our line coach, our quarterback coach on offense. It's been really good to go through the process and grow and learn together, and it's been pretty cool.
What impressed you all about Zamir White throughout the draft evaluation process, and how has he performed so far?
The young man's here. He's learning a new playbook, a new environment. So he's here, determined. We like the way his physicality on film, and we had the opportunity to bring him here on our 30 visit and got to know him, and I think that really helped. But he's a solid young man, humble, hard worker, and fits the room well.
What were your impressions of Josh Jacobs here? I'm sure you watched him on film before he got here. What do you think about Josh's role going forward?
Yeah, I go back to I had the opportunity to evaluate him when he came out. I saw the effort. What I was impressed with was when he came out, he was on special teams at Alabama, kind of like going back to Brandon, that showed that unselfishness and the hard working and how he enjoyed football. And he's still that way.
More?
Coach, I know Brady used a lot of little passes to guys like James White and the guys out of the backfield. How much more will we see Derek throwing to running backs this season?
I don't know. We're just installing right now, and this OTAs, there's no real contact, so I can't tell you. We're just working, and hopefully that we are available for them to make some plays for our quarterback.
Great. All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Simmons is coming right now, too.
Hey, Jason, it's Sean Reed from The Athletic. We've seen a lot of Amik Robertson out there. What have been your first impressions of him kind of working outside at corner?
Oh, man, you know what? Amik is a guy that's shows a lot of versatility. We know he's a guy that can move inside, outside, the whole nine. The thing that I've been most impressed about is how receptive he is to coaching. I'm really excited to coach him and the way he's able to take the coaching and then show it on the field. So I'm excited to continue to work with him.
Hi, Jason. Levi Damien, USA Today. As far as Jonathan Abram, what you've seen on tape from him and what you've seen from him since you've gotten here, where would you say he is in his development as a player?
You know what? The first thing that comes to mind when you mention it is really his football acumen. I've been really excited to see how much he knows just of the game and understands the game, whether it be formationally, whether it be scheme, picking it up. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, he is a really bright football player.
Is there a better place, at least at this point, do you think that he would fit?
Right now, he's a football player. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of Coach Graham's scheme. You know, right now we see these guys as football players. So we're teaching them techniques, and we're not worried about anything about a scheme right now. And how we have to, like, deploy the guys when the game comes, then we'll figure that out. But, I mean, just really good football players. That's what we're trying to build now.
Guys almost have as many safeties as cornerbacks on the roster, which is a little unusual. What's it been like working with such a deep safety group, and what have been your thoughts about some of the guys that make it up?
The first thing when I think about the group is just versatility. You know what I mean? You have so many guys that are so athletic. You know, when you come here, you just realize that you're blessed to have guys that can be used in multiple roles. So, you know, everybody can run. You know, everybody can play the run. Everybody can play the pass. People can cover. So we're excited. There's going to be a lot of competition in that room, and they realize it.
When you broke down the film last year, what were your impressions of Nate Hobbs?
When you see Nate, of course, you see a guy that's really physical and a guy that loves football. That to me is what stands out the most, and just excited to continue to see him grow in this scheme as well.
Coach, you
Hondo
had previous experience in working with Patrick Graham. I was curious, just in the path that you both crossed, like what's it like now to work again with him, and the previous experience that you had with him? What were your takeaways from that?
The first thing is, like, Pat is a really smart man. That's the first thing that you know, and from when you guys speak to him and you see him on the field, and he's passionate about football. So, you know, working here, it's like a delight for me. I learn every day. That's the thing. I wanted to come somewhere where I was able to learn, you know, to grow my career as well. And working with him, Coach McDaniel and Pat, this is what this opportunity has given me.
Coach, you have a very young defensive backfield, but a tremendous wide receivers. How does it help that they're going against all pro wide receivers every day in practice?
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, and I just smiled immediately because when you think about it, I mean, to go against these guys, you know, to take your lumps, to go out there and make plays, hopefully that just gives these guys confidence, you know what I mean, that they can play at a high level. But it's a great opportunity to play against such talent on the other side.
Coach, when you have second-year players, they're usually your guys that haven't really gotten a lot of snaps, but you have two guys in your secondary that have started a lot of games. How important is it to really just be able to continue to guide the progression and have kind of like not a clean slate, but be able to develop with something?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting when you say a clean slate, like everybody has that. You know what I mean? The good thing about being here is whether you're a veteran, a new guy, the first thing that we're preaching in that room is competition. You know, so it is good to have veteran guys in there that have done it before, but everybody knows whether you've played in the league before, you know, or fresh out of college. Like this is going to be opportunity because it's a new scheme for everybody. You know, it's a very unique situation where we are young, but it's fresh for everybody, even if you're a veteran or a new guy. So competition is what we're trying to breed in the room.
Jason, Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Ask Kennedy what it's been like, you know, to see the players that came over from the Patriots to sort of help the position groups in implementing the system, making it easier. He said not just the players, but the coaches too. What have you learned from the players that have played under this system, and what's made it easier for you?
Well, you know what? The main thing is that you see, and Deron Harmon is really the only one that's playing the system pretty much in the secondary. You know, to see him have the call command. You know what I mean? It's something that you can tell that was preached, something that was emphasized, and that's communication, and that's where we're trying to grow defensively now.
Coach, this is Vic from The Athletic. You guys brought in Rock, and he seems like he's definitely come on a rise since he first came in the league. What are your impressions of him on film, and also now the first month or two you've had him in your room?
What I see from Rock is he is a pro's pro. I love the way that he prepares. You can tell that he's a guy that loves the game and a guy that wants to get better. So I've really been impressed with him from that standpoint. And he's another guy that is a sponge. You know, as much, you know, he wants as much as you can give him. And he's able to take that information and process it.
You guys all set? Okay, thanks, Coach.
All good. Appreciate y'all. Nice to meet you.
How different does this go around feel compared to where you were at this time last year?
Man, it actually kind of feels the same, just new faces and new coaches. For me, it's just the approach is the same, just to come in every day and work hard and do what the coaches ask me to do. So it's kind of the same feeling, kind of the same approach.
Does it feel like this defense is going to be drastically different for you or subtly different?
There's some, different concepts, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's whatever the coaches ask us to play, whatever scheme. So that's kind of what we're all doing.
Tre'von, you moved around a lot in college, your career at TCU. Do you think that'll help you kind of playing in a more versatile defense with Patrick Graham?
I mean, I feel like that's, one thing that I can do, but like I said, I'm going to keep it plain and simple. Whatever the coaches ask me to do, that's what I'm going to do. That's kind of how I feel, my mindset, so.
Tre'von, you had a tremendous rookie season. Are you still basking in that, or are you just hungry to get better?
No, I'm just hungry to, like you said, get better, start this season, and just continue to grow with the team, continue to practice at a high level, so, yeah.
Are there things you watched last year you wanted to get better at, things you've worked on, especially this offseason, or?
Just, footwork, really. Just improving my footwork, improving my hands, and then, just conditioning, just trying to stay at the top of my conditioning peak as I can, and then just come in every day, lift weights, try to get stronger, and then just the mental side of it, just trying to learn the game.
I just asked Jason, how much are you guys as defensive backs better with a Davante, with a Hunter, with a Darren you're going against every day in practice?
Well, we got great players all around, you know what I'm saying? We got, even aside from those guys, we got, good players that'll give us good looks. So as long as they're giving us a good look, we'll continue to keep growing, so.
Been in the league for, over a full year now, had a couple of, you're going into your second off season. What do you think you've learned the most just from being a pro?
Oh man, just accountability. I'd say just doing your job every day, showing up on time, being present in meetings, taking notes, just all the small little things that eventually will be, something big when the game time comes. So I'd just say all those small things, just learn them.
Even though there's a lot of new faces in the building, how nice is it to have chemistry with those guys next to you, like Amik and Nate, Abram, next to even learn this new scheme?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, those guys have been with me since I came in here. So to do this with them, it's fun. We kind of already know each other, kind of, everybody's kind of skill set. So to come in with those guys, it's fun to see, us encouraging the new guys, encouraging the younger guys. We're going to continue to do that.
What have you seen specifically from Jonathan Abram, having played with him most of last season and this offseason?
Yeah, just the hunger to get better, just at everything. You know what I'm saying? Just he wants to come in here and practice well. He wants to come in, lift weights, and just do everything the coach is asking him to do. I mean, it's really that plain and simple for all of us. So.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from your rookie year?
I'd probably just go back on to that accountability part. Just, trying to stay on track with the small things because, those small things turn into big things, like I said, and everybody can pay attention to that. The coaches pay attention to that. Your peers pay attention to that. So just, like I said, showing up on time, taking the notes, doing extra, lifting the weights. So, yeah, I'd just go off of that.
So to follow on that, what was the favorite part of your rookie season? Was there a moment? Was there a
Favorite
highlight?
part?
Play? Like what was your favorite thing?
Probably, obviously, the interception, just, that was a big time thing for me. But other than that, I'd just say learning the system and then just playing my first year in the league. That was my dream growing up. And that was kind of the highlight of my season. It's just, I'm there, I'm in the game, and I'm able to do what I love. So.
Ryan Harmon's played for he used to play for the Patriots for a few years, so he's familiar with Patrick Graham's system. How has he helped, some of you younger safeties or just defenders in general who haven't played in the system?
Yeah, tremendously. Dude has a lot of knowledge. Like you said, he's been in the game for a while. So as soon as he got here, I tried to start picking his brain. Everybody started trying to pick his brain, and he's been given, all the knowledge he can. He's been trying to help us on and off the field, not just with football, but with life too. So he's been a great, addition to the team too.
What's been your first impression of Coach Graham?
Coach Graham, I love him. He has good energy, and he always says, we're coworkers, and that's what I love about it. It's always open conversation, honest critique, and that's just the one thing I love about him. I'm looking forward to continuing the season and growing with him too.
Yeah, Tre'von, your connection there with Jeff Gladney, I didn't know if you were able to process that. I know you guys crossed paths at TCU, and anytime somebody, that prominent of an athlete loses their life that young, I know it's got to be something that kind of sets you back a little bit.
It was definitely heartbreaking. Out of nowhere, just kind of sits you down, humbles you, and is like, man, life can be taken in a second. So, it was heartbreaking for me. I'm sure it was heartbreaking for a lot of people that, knew Jeff and was close to him, that played with us. But, that was my dog. My prayers go to him, his family, all of his loved ones, his kid. Definitely a heartbreaking situation, still trying to process. So,
Tre'von, if I can take it away from football for a moment, former Raiders coach Jack Del Rio came under fire for a tweet that he put out. He apologized yesterday in comparing the issue at the Capitol to the civil unrest. I'm just curious if you had any thoughts on that or any comment, if there's a rippling effect from DC all the way to Las Vegas.
To be honest with you, I've been training. I haven't really been keeping up with that, looking too far into the media. So I don't really have anything to say on that. I've just been working. Thank you.
Guys all set? All right.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tre'von.
At this stage of your life, kind of left a little bit of a comfort zone in Green Bay with everything that was going on there to come here. Has it been drastic in terms of the change, or feel it's been fairly seamless so far?
Yeah, it's been more seamless than anything. It's a lot of different, than what I've been used to over the past 8 years. But I mean, all the changes have been good though. A lot more, at your disposal. A lot more to do. Lot more, it's just obviously it's a little bit more of a city than what Green Bay was, and I love Green Bay for what it was, and it kept me grounded. It's great for a young guy coming in, coming into some money, just to hold on to your money and kind of make everything about football. But as you start to get older, or if you just, if you're that type of person that can control those type of things, it's great for you, being in this type of environment.
I know you're focused on football and all that, but do you ever catch yourself thinking, "Wow, I'm really here with the Raiders right now"?
Oh yeah, every day for sure. I'm the type of person that, I don't like to stop and smell the roses as far as accomplishments and stuff like that, but as far as appreciation for what I've been through and where I am and where I actually am, geographically, it's something that I pay a lot of attention to. I talk about with my teammates, my friends, my wife, just kind of, because when I slapped that jersey on and to do the media day stuff the other day, that's when it really hit me. When I that was my first time putting the real gear on. So I like to stop and appreciate stuff along the way. So I definitely been paying attention to that.
Davante, from a football perspective, you've gone through a lot of changes in a short amount of time, from learning a new scheme to getting to know new teammates, and even though you played with Derek in college, getting to work with another quarterback that's not Aaron Rodgers. How have you handled all that so far throughout the offseason program?
I mean, we got right back to work, just like, and I don't know if I mentioned to you guys when I came here, right after I signed, but we were working out together for the first 6 years of our, NFL career anyway, because we lived right down the street from each other once I moved up to Danville. So, I mean, we were throwing probably 3 times a week for, 5-6 years. So, had about a 2-year gap when they, the team moved out here, but basically picked up where we left off, and we both are so committed and obsessive over our craft to where even today I messed something up at the end of practice, just a subtle thing, and we go back out there after to go, I just want to feel that and do, because that's the way we did it before. Anytime, if he didn't like a ball he threw in a period, he'd have me go stand in the spot that I would have been catching the ball, and then he'll fire it until he liked how he threw it, which is usually one more pass. But when you got two dudes that have worked together and already built up a lot of camaraderie and have a close friendship, I feel like that makes it so much easier kind of getting back and gelling, the way you were before.
Davante, when a team signs a superstar, the players on the roster can embrace them or not, and all your teammates have talked about you being the leader. What does it mean to you to be embraced by these guys the way they have?
It means a lot, man. Honestly, it puts a smile on my face, and it's something that I mention, when I'm talking to my loved ones back home that are like, what's it been like? That's one of the first things I talk about. I'm like, man, the respect that I got when I walked in the building, from the players, mainly, I mean, not just mainly, but for sure I pay attention to the players, because sometimes, competition comes in, in the whiteout room. It may not be, it's obviously going to, potentially take away from some opportunities for other people, and to see the way that they've, kind of embraced me being here and, using me as a resource and just enjoying the company too. It's been a great feeling.
Davante, last week Hunter Renfrow came and talked about how cool it is to play with you, not even just on the field, but your healthy competitions on the golf course.
Yeah, I saw you mention that. Yeah, he made it seem like he just be killing me out there on the course, but he's a better golfer than me right now. But you got to take into account, and I don't want to cut off your question, but being in Green Bay, that's 7 months out of the year, that I can't play golf. He been in Vegas and Oakland, so of course his golf game gonna be where it need to be. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. Just what is it like just playing with him?
It's great, man. He's an interesting dude because I've been around a lot of people that are like Hunter, but they're never usually going into their fourth year coming up. It's never been a fourth year with the type of football acumen that he has and his awareness and understanding why he does certain things, because there's people out there with a lot of talent, but they can't sit there and break it down and tell you why they're doing what they did with their footwork, or the next rep why they tweaked it a little bit because of the look that they had. So his awareness and his football smarts is definitely, he's ahead of his time. So it's actually fun. Sometimes I'll be sitting there just talking to him like in the middle of an offensive meeting, and we'll be talking about releases, and he'll tell me what he thought, and I'm like, this is fun. This is fun being able to be with somebody who's a lot like me mentally. The way that I approach the game, the way I attack it. Always trying to find little small nuances of whether it's something that the defense is doing or if it's with footwork that I do. So it's been great. I've been learning from him. He's learning from me. I am going to beat him on the golf course very soon. He's running away going to South Carolina, so it'll be a few weeks I can't get him. But once we get a few off days in camp, I'm sure we'll be picking it back up.
Davante, you've been in some explosive offenses. What's the potential for this offense?
I mean, this offense has a ton of potential. We got players all over that have made plays and have done a great job and been doing it for a long time now. But the potential is nothing until you put the work in, and we still got a long way to go. So we're climbing right now, doing all the right things, and learning a new scheme and all of that. But don't really matter till you go out there and really put it together. So. Darren is a hell of an athlete. We talked about Hunter. We got Josh. We got a lot of running backs too. It's a lot of guys in there. I'm excited to see what Amir does. A lot of guys that can go, make plays and give this offense the potential to explode. But it ain't gonna just happen because we're standing out there. So we got to put that, keep stacking the days and put the work in.
Davante, what has it been like for you kind of dissecting the playbook at Josh McDaniels and kind of embracing the new offensive system?
It's been a challenge. It's been fun though. I haven't had to learn a new system for quite some time now. Even when Matt LaFleur came to Green Bay, having Aaron, they worked and kind of pulled a few things from the old offense that we had when Mike McCarthy was there, and kind of brought that to the new offense. So it was kind of half and half. Even then, I only had to learn like 75% of a new playbook. So. It's a bit of a change, but I've been enjoying it. It's a lot of different things that Josh has a incredible football mind. So just knowing things that he's accomplished, which obviously I'm sure he's talked about, and everybody, that doesn't really have anything to do with this now. But having that experience like that, and having been to the big game almost 10 times. That means a lot, and just having that anytime you can bring somebody in who just knows how to win, that gives you a lot of confidence as an offense. So we bought into everything that he's taught us and everything that he stands for, and we just got to keep stacking days and then make it about something.
Have you and Derek talked to Josh about integrating things you guys are like, or does that come down the road a little bit?
That'll be down the road. Yeah, that's if I'm just trying to make sure I know everything now. You can't really come in, making demands and trying to do all that until you really know your stuff. And that's one thing that I do love about Josh, though. I feel like that'll be something that, not changing the scheme, but, tweaks here and there of different things, little small subtleties that, because I've obviously been doing this for a while, too. So, he respects what I say and what I've done. So I feel like that'll allow us to continue to grow and navigate throughout the season, find different ways to beat certain teams. So, he's definitely always got his ears open, and I appreciate that about him.
How was it working again with Edgar Benny easing your transition coming here from Green Bay?
Man, he was one of the first people I saw when I walked in the building after I signed, and it just put a big smile on my face, man. It was kind of, it added, because I don't know as many players, or I didn't know as many players on this team as, maybe some others when I first got here. So to see a familiar face. Also, Coach Mo, he was a special teams guy in Green Bay, so to see some familiar faces like that, it just kind of gives you a sense of comfort. and a guy who understands what I'm about. He's seen me from literally when I first got in Green Bay, so he's kind of seen the whole progression from young rookie who doesn't know anything to coming in, and I've kind of established a few things now. So just to be able to work with him again is definitely a blessing.
Davante,
Go ahead, guys.
okay. Have you had conversations with Aaron since leaving Green Bay, and what was that goodbye like?
Oh yeah, I mean we've talked multiple times, and we talked throughout the whole process too. And he was aware of where I stood, and I was aware of where he stood, and we had talks just like what he said the other day. He mentioned we had talks about his future and what he thinks his duration in Green Bay or just football in general would look like, and that played into my decision as well, because where I'm in my career. And this isn't a shot at anybody, any other quarterbacks or in Green Bay. I love Jordan Love especially. He's a great guy, but I got aspirations of doing really, really big things and being remembered. And I just it wasn't really a point in my career that I was willing to sacrifice. Aaron not being there, after a year or two. So my decision was to be here, and he respected that. He understood that, it has a lot to do with where I want to raise my kids, family, being closer to home. I mentioned that to you guys when I first came up here. I hadn't, my grandparents never seen me play in 8 years, so to be able to have my family closer, and the suites are a lot more expensive here, but now I can pack the suite out with the family and kind of do that whole thing. So we've had a lot of great talks. He was in the match. I'm sure y'all know about that, and wanted me to go play a practice round with him in the morning, and I definitely would have gone and done that, but we had practice here, so he didn't have to be out there just yet. So but yeah, we've had a lot of good talks, man. He understands where I'm coming from. I understood where he was coming from, so we kind of just left it at that.
Davante, pardon me for taking the subject off the football field for a moment. Jack Del Rio came under fire for some tweets comparing and sort of minimalizing what happened at the Capitol and comparing it to social injustices and civil unrest. I'm just wondering, miles away from DC to Vegas, if it's had a ripple effect, and if you have any comment or thoughts.
No, I don't have any comments or thoughts. I've been just burying my face in this playbook, man. Just really, and that's not to, I wish I had something spicier for you, but I haven't paid it. Honestly, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. And that may be bad awareness on my part, but I've just been diving in this book and trying to enjoy every day here with these guys so far.
Davante, the other day we were talking to Darren Waller, and he was saying that when he was looking at old Patriots, well not old, so recent and old Patriots film, what he saw that really excited him was Gronk running wild. Was there anything when you watched the film of Josh's offense that has particularly excited you in kind of the same way about your role in this offense?
Well, yes, but it's not in the same sense where I'm watching one guy. I'm excited because I just look at all the routes that are being run, and Josh has such a way to be able to move me around and move other people around to be in certain positions on the field to be in the most advantageous spot. So that's what excites me, is that I know, and having the company that I have, having Darren and really everybody, but Darren and Hunter, those are two guys that you can't, if you want to come double and triple me, which has happened, it puts a lot of stress on the rest of the defense, because now they got to go cover one-on-one with Hunter in the slot, and that's too much room to give a guy like that to go out there and operate. So I think about it more of a team big picture, and I definitely get excited when I see some of the routes, but it's more so just knowing that I can be anywhere on the field and have the potential to make a big play.
We're gonna do 3 more. We're gonna go Ken, Chris, and Hondo. Davante, time flies, man. I remember interviewing you at Legacy Stadium at the Venetian years ago, and you were just as humble as you are now. More exciting to go into that rookie year with Green Bay, or more exciting to come here to Vegas and show everybody that you're still that guy?
Equally excited. I'm equally excited. It's different. Going to Green Bay, you're a kid finally being able to fully fulfill your dream of playing in the NFL. So it's hard to beat that. But then, following it up with coming back and playing for the team that you grew up loving, it's really hard to beat that too. So it's tough to answer and give you one or the other, but I'll say it's equally exciting because both are dream come trues for me. And, I was able to give a lot and get a lot from Green Bay. and the same now. I'm looking forward to being able to, obviously I've been compensated now. Now it's time for me to go, do what I do for Vegas and enjoy my teammates here. So
I just wanted to thank you though, because my wife's from Wisconsin, so we made it back to Lambeau a couple times to see you there. But as soon as you got traded to the Raiders, my wife is now on board Silver and Black.
there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Davante, I was wondering, you mentioned Rodgers. What are some of the maybe subtle similarities or differences between Rodgers and Carson? You've worked with both of them for so many years.
That's a tough question. I mean, it's tough to compare. It's really apples and oranges. Derek. I mean, it's just such a different ball game. I mean, obviously you have Aaron, who's cemented as one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, and that's just like comparing me to like Jerry Rice. It'd be tough to do because Jerry's put together what he's done, and it's undeniable respect for him. And me, I'm still going, and there's still a lot that I got to do to be able to be mentioned with Jerry, and I'm aware of that, and I think Derek is also aware of that. From a big picture, but as far as talent and ability, I mean, it's really similar. If I'm keeping it real, Derek's arm strength and they throw the ball a lot different. Like Derek is gonna fire it in there, and you're gonna know that thing's coming quick. And Aaron's got the ability to just kind of tighten that core up and just flick the ball to you. So the release is a lot different, but being able to get the ball to you late, if they see you coming out of a break, not many quarterbacks can get it to you before you get to the sideline. If you're outside the numbers already, but having two guys like that with really strong arms and understand the game and the mental part of it is another similarity that they have is they both obsess over it and they know everything that's going on out there. A lot of times I've seen Aaron call out a blitz when the safety's 17 yards off the ball, just kind of creeping back there. He said in practice, hey, he's coming. And I'm like, what? And then sure enough, dude comes flying on the snap from 17 yards down the field. So I've seen that from Aaron. And then I've seen Derek literally give me a check that didn't make any sense to me before in college. Here, same thing. And, we scored a touchdown on it. So a lot of similarities, but much different. And I think Derek is in a position where he's chasing to be one of those all-time greats like that, which is, like I said, that's not a slight on Derek whatsoever. I wouldn't be here if I was slighting Derek. But I don't think that I'm ready to compare myself to Jerry Rice just yet. We'll see when it's all said and done, or after some more time, just to be fair overall. And I think the same is with Derek. We both chasing it and still got a lot in front of us.
Davante, in professional sports, you see a lot of guys sign the big contract and go places they're not happy.
Yeah.
Watching you around the facility, practices, I mean, you genuinely seem to be loving where you're at.
Time of my life.
At this time in your life, can you describe that feeling to not only got the respect of the payday, but to be in a place that you're so happy?
It's hard to explain. I mean, that's another thing is like I'm sure everybody talks about, you guys have heard Green Bay offered this, which was higher than what I was and all of that. And yeah, I'll say it was true. Okay, it was true. But like I said, there's much more that goes into it, and family is a big part of it for me. So geographically being here, it makes it a lot easier for me to stay connected to my family year round. And this isn't year two, or I'm not trying to necessarily fight for a job or anything like that to where you got to do what you got to do. You got to just stay out there. I had the choice, and the choice was for me to come here and raise my family on the West Coast and come out here and have some fun in the sun. And it's starting to get incredibly sunny, but it's we got ghosts here too apparently, but yeah. But yeah, it's hard to explain. This is what I thought about. You seen the pictures of me as a kid in my yearbook saying NFL NBA star. That's what I want to do. Davante Adams, NFL NBA star. And sometimes you just got to manifest it and throw your jersey on and see if you can kind of, they say history repeats itself. So here we are.
Were those gold cleats you wore yesterday Madden cleats?
Those were last year's. Yeah, last year's one. So we'll see what the ones look like this year.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right.
Were you on? Do you know if you were on Jack?